Jeri Tourand, welcome to Empower Network TV.
Thank you. It's my privilege to be here. I've been following all of the interviews and just starting to really tap into the group. I'm a part of a lot of groups, but there's not too many that I actually check out regularly. And this is definitely one of them. Like the quality of people you've attracted and brought together here is unsurpassed. So thank you for doing this.
Well, then that's a testament to others in the group. I brought in people I knew, but then, those quality people brought in quality people like yourself. So it certainly is vibing like that. And I'm happy I get to be a part of it. It sounds like you are too. So I'm thrilled you're here.
I am. Yeah. Thank you.
Right before we went live, I was asking Jeri, I'm like, what are we going to call this? And she said, well, my flagship or masterclass is How to Be in Love, No Partner Required. I was like, are you kidding me? That is a tagline. So How to Be in Love, No Partner Required. We're going to be talking about that today. Jeri, where does your story start? Do you want to fill us in on how you came to be this person with a masterclass that's called that?
Yeah, well, my story really starts with half of my life living in fear and operating from that place as a people pleaser, so many protective mechanisms in place, and not really knowing how to connect authentically with myself, with source, or with others, and having a massive breakdown. And that's always a breakthrough. So after my father died in 2001, he had a terminal illness. And so I had the opportunity to really connect with him on a level that I'd never done before, knowing that he was gonna transition soon. So that was a real blessing. At first, I thought it was awful to have to suffer in that way and witness our loved ones going through so much suffering, so much pain. And right away, I kind of felt into that and inquired about that. And the answer was that, there's a lot left unsaid in our family, which is why we were gifted this time of knowing that he was going to transition in order to say the things left unsaid. And one of them was, I love you. We'd never said the L word in my family. It was just, we know that we love each other, So I got to tell my father I loved him for the first time a month before he died, and he reciprocated. And then it just propelled me on this journey of exploration and asking those deep questions. So what is life about? Why am I here? Who am I really? Because then a lot of my family members, I experienced a lot of death in a short period of time. And death is really a huge gift, to get us living and loving more fully now. And so I tell people that that's what I do, that I help people die with no regret by learning how to live and love fully now. And in order to live and love fully now, we need to release those blocks, those unresolved emotions, the ideas, the beliefs, the patterns, the behaviors that are coming from fear and coming from our trauma and really incongruent with love, and learn to live in love and not in fear. So, so I started on a personal development journey, and really, I even founded selfhelpaddict.com. I had that website for a little while, just exploring these deeper questions. And I didn't realize just how much it would rock my world. Like everything just came up into question. And I realized that I really had no idea who I was. And I really had no idea what love is. I was married. I had 3 kids. And I know it rocked his world pretty good too. He wondered, what happened to my wife? Like Susie Homemaker, people pleaser that just did everything for everyone else in order to fit in and to belong, in order to be loved and respected. And I just started to question everything and ended up having a total breakdown. So it was like full on anxiety attacks is what it started with. And I thought it was a heart attack. Like I was certain that I was dying of a heart attack or a stroke because I'd get numbness in my hands and my feet. My whole face would go numb. My heart would just ache and pound. My body wouldn't stop shaking. I'd start sweating profusely. And so I was in and out of the hospital with these full-blown anxiety attacks that I was sure I was going to die every time, looking for answers, like what's going on. And really didn't realize that it was the, the dark night of the soul that many of us go through when we're redefining who we are completely. And our old self just doesn't fit anymore, doesn't work anymore. Even the old people in our lives, right, need to be upgraded. But the new self isn't quite in yet. Like I have no idea how to operate from this space of love. And I'd done enough personal development work that I believed I could heal myself. And that this was just a cry for love. All of these aches and pains in my body was like a cry for my love and my attention. And so I tried everything. Like I said, I was in and out of the hospital. They just said, oh, you know what, you're depressed. It's anxiety. There was really no answers coming my way. So I went to all sorts of specialists, naturopaths, osteopaths, like everything you can imagine. I was juicing, I was painting my feet with iodine. I was like looking externally for answers and just constantly seeking for answers. How can I fix this? How can I change this? How can I get rid of this? What did I do wrong that I'd be punished in this way? Because it got so bad that I had to quit. I was a teacher then, a school teacher, and I wasn't even able to do that job. I wasn't able to parent my kids effectively. I was worried that they were going to find me dead like every morning because I'd have such intense chest pain and anxiety. And nothing really worked. So I finally hit this point where I was just exhausted and I had no quality of life. It felt like I really couldn't do anything that I wanted to do anymore. I was too scared to go anywhere, to travel, because I never knew when one of these attacks was going to come on. And I was in constant pain as well. So it's like my whole body, all of my systems were breaking down. And so that was the magical point of surrender where I remember getting down on my knees. And I mean, I was a recovering Catholic at that point and wasn't quite sure if there was anything out there, but I started to pray to God and just say, okay, if you're there, like either take me or heal me, like show me what I need to do because I can't do this. It became completely overwhelming. And I felt powerless. I tried everything that I could think of. And sitting in that space, just bawling and surrendering, the only thing I heard was, you have to love yourself. I thought, really? You have to love yourself? Like, I exercise, I eat well. Like, I thought self-love was self-care. And so first I was angry. And then I thought, okay, if that's all I'm going to get, then I have to learn what that means to love myself. And it was really beautiful because the universe really does support us. So I checked on Facebook, and one of my friends had set up a page around forgiveness and Ho'oponopono. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Ho'oponopono a little bit. Yeah, so really it's a Hawaiian forgiveness process, really about taking action to return everything back into perfect harmony, like the way that it was meant to be. Bring everything back into balance. And this process, the shaman in Hawaii have been using this process for a long time to just cleanse and clear and loosen and let go of all of the blocks to really expressing who we really are and connecting with the truth of the love that we are, the light that we are. And so there's 4 phrases I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And those 4 phrases are quite magical. Like they each carry a very specific vibration, a specific frequency that starts to just clean and cleanse and take out the garbage, especially the emotional baggage, the unresolved emotion, which a lot of programs don't really get to. It's more of a mental reprogramming. So it's a way to really clear the emotional and the spiritual and energetic baggage.
Hmm.
And so I thought, all right, I have nothing to lose. So the first thing I did is I forgave myself for not knowing how to love myself.
Hmm.
Because I realized that obviously there's something I'm not getting here. Because, I thought I was loving myself. And as soon as I did that, as soon as I used those phrases and forgave myself for having no idea how to love myself, I started to realize how to love myself. And it starts with really embracing the part of me that was angry, that was wanting to fix and wanting to change all of this stuff that was going on. And I realized that that was resistance. I was judging this broken part of me, judging myself as broken, judging myself as not being good enough, or I must be guilty, and that's why this happened. Judging the aches and pains in my body, wanting to get rid of them, wanting to fix them, wanting to change them. So everything I was doing was an attempt to change what is, to fix what is,
Mm-hmm.
prove, the dream of life.
Hmm.
And so, of course, it wasn't working, because judgment, when I'm judging it as bad, I'm judging it as wrong, I'm judging myself as bad or wrong, that I must have done something bad or wrong in order for this to have come into my experience. Judgment is a form of resistance. And as most of us know, what we resist persists. And that's why I wasn't getting anywhere. So this really started to come in, these realizations, like realizations, I was like, oh my goodness, what's the opposite of judging and resisting? Like welcoming what is, welcoming the aches and the pains, and welcoming the anger even, and embracing those parts of me. So it was like this whole integration where I realized that loving yourself is accepting all parts of yourself, and especially the parts that you judge the most. Those are the parts that need your love. Just like the people we judge the most are the ones that need our love the most. And so all of those parts of me became kind of like a person that just needed my love and needed my attention.
Yep.
And so I developed what I now teach, which was a self-love routine. Like what is this self-love ritual? And it started with using Ho'oponopono. So going into, whenever I felt like my heart was palpitating, or I'd have aches and pains in my joints, which eventually I was told I had lupus, and I was told I had mitral valve prolapse, and my thyroid went totally. So it was like a whole physical, mental, emotional, spiritual breakdown, like everything. I'd go to those parts that I was judging or that were crying out for my attention, in the form of pain or painful emotion. And I'd use the mantra, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for whatever I did in this lifetime and in all lifetimes that brought this into my experience. Thank you. Thank you for the learning. Thank you for showing me that you need my love, and that I've been judging and criticizing these parts of me, criticizing myself and feeling like I was bad and wrong. And then I just tell that part I love you. And ultimately it just boiled down into, I'm here. I love you. I'm listening. And just really learning what it is to hold space, like for my own self. And realizing that's love. Like I was tuning into the frequency of all that is, like of the universe, which is love. Releasing judgment, welcoming all that is, And I committed to that self-love routine, just meditating and focusing on those parts, crying out for my love and attention and welcoming them with all my heart. And truly just listening, holding space. And within a year, like my attacks got less and less. And so it took me about like a year of a regular self-love routine and really just being more mindful, more aware, and just soft, not so judgmental of myself, which of course translated into all my relationships. So I was much more compassionate. And yeah, like then I healed myself, with no more medical intervention. All I needed was to love and forgive myself. And so from there, I became a self-love and forgiveness coach because that's what worked. I know it works. And I understand what it means now. And then one of my girlfriends called me up and told me she was bringing a Zen Buddhist master into Canada and wondering if I was interested in doing some training with him. And right away, I mean, I was so open at that point. I was just so open and raw. Like my knowingness was just there. So it was just, hell yes. Like I didn't even ask any questions. I just signed up. And his name is Zen Master Nisam Amon. And he developed a therapeutic method of self-love and awakening called trilotherapy. And so in 2011, I started studying with him. I studied with him for 6 years. I became certified. Now I train people and certify coaches to really be self-love and forgiveness coaches. But I mean, it's a huge program. So it's actually really about, like, it's a path to awakening or a path to enlightenment. And the path is love. And there is no partner required because love is a frequency. And so I teach people how to tune into that frequency and how to come from that place in everything they think, everything they say, everything they do. How to come from love instead of fear, which obviously requires some forgiveness because we have so many blocks, like so many things that are in the way of us fully living with an open heart and in that beautiful space of connection. And so, yeah, so I've got like a whole business set up. My business is Living from Heart Center. And the pillars are, exploring, really getting to know oneself. Like, who am I really? So explore, expand, express, and celebrate life and love. So starts with knowing thyself. And when you know thyself, you love thyself. Like, really, you are that. You're not separate from it. So the more you get to know yourself and the more you just forgive, and by forgive, I mean integrate, like love every single part of you, like bringing it all into your heart and just resolving all of those incompletes from the trauma of our ancestors, of our childhood.
Wow.
Something opens up and magic happens and you can absolutely be in love. No partner required, but let me tell you, you'll attract the most beautiful partners and the most incredible deep relationships when you really learn how to connect with your own divinity and get to know yourself in truth.
Okay.
So that's kind of my story and how I found my purpose in my pain, right? As most people do.
I don't know that I need to ask you anything. People, if they just listen to that 20 minutes that you just unpacked it. Yeah, I'm just seeing things in my life where I need to bring love, forgiveness for myself, and just parts of me that I just need to sit with and fully bring in and not push away or pretend. Just embrace.
Yeah.
That's, as you're talking, that's just what I'm seeing in my own life is just, yeah, where I need to just embrace. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really the secret. Like that was huge for me when I just thought, wow, judgment is a form of resistance. What we resist persists. So here I am trying to get rid of something, trying to fix it, trying to change it, really pushing it away, pushing away a part of me that actually needs my love. And then it shows up outside of us. Our relationships reflect our consciousness, right? Our whole reality and all of our relationships are an out picturing of our consciousness, of our own inner relationship between our head and our heart. And that's what trilotherapy is all about, is the tri is the three aspects of self. And so according to the Zen master, we have our head, we have our heart. So our head are a logical part, the left brain. The heart is more the emotional body, or the right brain. And then the center. So he refers to our head and our heart as our inner children, the masculine and the feminine, and then our true self, the center, is the parent, the inner parent, or our inner Buddha. And we need to awaken that part. But it's really hard to meditate and to sit in meditation when we have these inner children that are constantly battling it out. We have so much inner conflict, so much fear, and our head and our heart are often in opposition with one another, just like our external relationships, will reflect that. And so really it's an internal mediation process that I take people through to love themselves more. Like, I love myself. I honor myself. I listen to myself, because most people come in and they say, I doubt myself. I don't love myself. I don't look after myself. I don't listen to myself. And who's the I and who's myself? So it's already showing us that our suffering is directly correlated to the disconnect between our own head and our own heart. So, if I say point to yourself, most people are going to point to their heart. So then the I don't love myself. I don't trust myself. I don't listen to myself. I doubt myself, like huge disconnect. And trauma causes that. And we have all these unresolved emotions that are keeping us in this prison of our own making. And we have the keys all along. You just have to learn some of those tools, some of those techniques. And Ho'oponopono is one of them. Because it really goes deep into the energetic field, like where everything is just first formed. And clearing up some of that unresolved emotions that then become these beautiful spiritual lessons and help us to actualize our full potential. So it returns you to your original form doing this work. It loosens, sets you free. So it's all about freedom, all about love.
I feel like you just gave a master class.
Oh, there's so much more, but
sure.
I can share a story. There's a story that really affected me that I think kind of sum up why I do what I do as well. And it was a research study that was done that I remember hearing about with people who were on their deathbed. And so they all had to be really close to transitioning, like within a couple of weeks of transitioning. And the researchers went all over the world, making sure that, it was every culture was represented. And they had one question. And the question that they asked all of these people was, what is your biggest regret? And so they were ready for all sorts of answers. They had all their expectations written down. And they were able to basically just toss them all out because everyone said the same thing. Can you guess what they would have regretted? What the biggest regret is on one's death?
I would have said, taking more chances, but maybe it's to do with loving yourself then. I don't know. What is it?
I wish I would have loved more.
Oh, okay.
Or I wish I would have been loved more. You know what? They all boil down to the same thing. That all that matters in the end is how much have we loved. And to me, living and loving is synonymous. Like if you're not loving fully, you're not living fully. And if you're not living fully, you're not loving fully. So really then the work just becomes to clear the blocks that are in the way of the full expression of who we are, the love that we are, the light that we are. And there's some fabulous tools to clear those blocks and to really reconnect.
Do you have any links to send? Do you have any links you can put in the comments after? Because like website, any tools, any resources would be very welcome by anyone watching this, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. So, well, my website is livingfromheartcenter.com, and center is CENTER. So, really is living from from this open-hearted, centered, grounded place, like grounded spirituality. And I do most of my business on Facebook. So, Living from Heart Center on Facebook, on Meetup, all over. I also have uh, a group, a Facebook group called Unlimited Love Coaching for Awakening Souls. And I put there's lots of freebie, tons of resources,
Mhm.
lots of master classes in there.
Can you put all your links here after I tag you in this? Can you put them all in the
Yeah,
comments?
put them in the
People are
comments.
going to want to connect with you, whether they see this today or next month or whenever they see it down the road.
Mhm.
This is nice that you've done this. This is the first interview I've never had to talk. This is a new experience for me.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. I would just like,
No,
I guess.
this is good. I don't want to. This is not about me. This is just to get you out there, and I just want to say thank you. This is the first time I've not had to say anything. It's and all the other interviews are beautiful too, but this is a different experience. You just unpacked 20 minutes, 25 minutes. You took everyone through a class. It was beautiful.
Mm. Yeah, well, hopefully they feel a little bit of stirring, a little bit of an opening.
Yeah.
Like, it's in the end, that's all that matters, right? Love more now and do the work, whatever the work is, to clean out those blocks
Hmm.
and to find that safe space, which I think you're doing a wonderful job of creating that for people. And that's number one, right? You need to first, you have to become the safe space for yourself, like I did, learning what it means to hold space for every part of me. And then you're able to do that with others, and you're creating a community of, a safe space for people to just really express the truth of who they are, to practice that,
Hmm.
and get all of these tools out there that I think are all kind of pointing to the same thing. We all want the same thing, this world that works for everyone with no one left out, living in a frequency of love and not fear. And I've heard that with so many interviews that you've conducted. So it feels like home to me.
That's a beautiful right there. But thank you for that. That's beautiful. There's a lot of people that are appreciative of what you just said, that this feels like home to you, because that's how it feels like for them. So, and it matters to me that you said that too. So thank you for being here, Jeri. This has been wonderful. If you have been watching Empower Network TV or listening to it, this has been Jeri Tourand, and she just gave you a little mini masterclass on what it means to be in love with no partner required. Please reach out to her, let her know what you appreciate about this. And I wasn't monitoring comments. I'm sure there's comments, but people are going to see this for sure. And what a gift you were today.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna reach out to you after to send you your links later on, but I'll message you after this. Thank you so much, Jeri, for being here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was my pleasure.
Chat soon.
Tuning in. All right. Bye-bye.